Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESPN and welcome to the gorgeous Iowa Speedway here in beautiful Newton, Iowa in the United States of America for this round of the Western States Racing League Truck Series. My name is Ryan Williams and tonight I'll be joined by Ben Bruno. Ben, how are you doing on this fantastic evening?
I am doing fantastic, Ryan, and how are you this evening?
Well, I guess I'm doing about the same as we get straight in. With just a few minutes left here in practice, we got a bunch of very quick drivers here in the Western States Racing League. Currently practice being taught by Jeff Hollingsworth and his number 97 machine with a lightning quick time around this Iowa Speedway at 23.575. A lot of very fast guys here tonight, and some names that have just popped up into the server include last week's winner from the Texas Motor Speedway. That was Brian Barnes that won at the Texas Motor Speedway last weekend, and it's going to be a very, very tough test to see if he can continue his march towards the front of the standings here for WSRL this week at Iowa. So far, looking at it, a lot of these drivers in this field seem to be from out west in the United States. A couple of guys from even up as far as Canada joining the field with Mark McFadden. Mark McFadden, Ben, if you didn't know it, over 70 years old, but still putting on shows time and time again here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, racing anything from our Monday night series. So I believe that he was running the majors last time I called it. He also runs that Monday night series as well as the Friday night Super Speedway series. It's just here in about 5 seconds. We'll get straight in to qualifying.
Yep, all good. I got you.
So far this season, we'll look back at their point standings. Currently sitting first in the points, you see Bentley Glazer up there. He's got 290 total points to his name on the year. 3 wins coming into tonight's race at Iowa, 6 top 5s. And of course, those 6 being top 10s, that's every race they've run so far this season. Bob Beltrami currently sits second with Brian Barnes in third. Barnes picked up a lot of points after last week's impressive win at the Texas Motor Speedway. A couple drivers we see out on the track right now include Earl Walker and his 46 machine. Bentley Glazer, your current points leader, is out on the track as well in his number 87. Sick looking Chevrolet ride there for Glazer. First time's about to come in here very quickly from the Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, Kevin Thrift is out there as well here right now, Ryan. He's, putting in a solid campaign so far this year, looking to see if he can get the job done here tonight at Iowa.
So far, fast time goes to Bentley Glazer in the number 87 machine at a 23.600. Marty Ray second so far. Earl Weaver comes in third, but he's going to be bumped down to fourth by Dennis Fusan, I'm going to say it. I probably butchered that last name, but I'll try to make up for it later. Marty Ray in the 65 coming in second. Fusan still sits third. Kevin Thrift, the man you just talked about, he comes in fourth quick so far with a 23.724.
Jeff Hollingsworth was looking really good there in practice and qualifying. Ran a pretty good lap. We'll see if he can make his way up to the front of the pack here tonight.
Hollingsworth was a very quick driver. In practice, he goes 7 quick so far, 23.753 for Hollingsworth and his number 97 machine. Still about 8 minutes to go here of qualifying, and while we have a little bit of dead space on the track, we'll go over our track conditions for the night just momentarily. A nice 77 degrees tonight in Newton, Iowa. That's not like it is in real life. Right now, it's super duper cold up there. But in this world, we're rocking a 77 degrees outside, track temperatures at 79 degrees, not much wind to be had on the night. And the track is what is interesting here. So, qualifying is carried over from the practice track. It was at 50%. It is now somewhere probably around 70 to 75. But as this race starts, the track will bump up to 100% usage, but the marbles will be automatically cleaned. Now, still about 8 minutes to go. Make it 7 as we come up on the 3-minute mark of qualifying. 160 laps the distance here tonight, although that looks like a lot for an iRacing event. The under 1 mile Iowa Speedway will be very, very quick, and these 160 laps will go by no problem, lickety split. A couple of cars still on the track. Carl Burke's out there in his number 53 machine. He does look pretty fast here tonight. We'll see if he can bump up there with Bentley Glazer. Ben, I'll come to you real quick. What is going to be some of your keys for the night for these drivers that want to find themselves in victory lane as time goes on?
Yeah, with the starting track state at 100%, you're really going to have to watch for the big runs of momentum. Really going to want to manage the tires here. We'll see how much, is it going to get wrecky? Maybe, maybe not. Really got to manage your race car here tonight to be able to have a solid run. Keep the nose of that thing clean and keep her moving towards the front, Ryan.
Pretty much everything you just said. As we look back at your standings board so far, Kyle Mccartney put in a fast lap at a 23.613. He set second. Last week's winner, Brian Barnes, third quick. Bob Beltram, your second place point sitter currently, comes in fourth quick. Kevin Thrift rounds out your top 5 so far. Still a bunch of time left for these remaining drivers to get in there and put in a fast lap here at the Iowa Speedway. And we're going to look tonight. A lot of these drivers are going to be trying to stay on the bottom of this racetrack all the way around, but we're going to see a lot of guys go up top and try to get some momentum as they're making their runs to the front.
Yeah, and you always have to keep in mind as well, Ryan, that these guys only are working with 4 sets of tires here tonight at Iowa as well. So, really going to have to do a good job of managing that race car tonight.
4 sets of tires, 1 fast repair. If there is any trouble for these guys, just 1 fast repair. A lot of these drivers that have already taken their qualifying times, they're just out there cutting some laps, trying to make sure that their machines feel absolutely perfect as we go into this 160-lap feature race. We see the 24 machine of Tom Miles coming in for his second lap. Never mind, he's on his third currently, so his second lap was good for 18th quick. That puts him last place on the starting grid so far. No changes to your top 5 as we enter the 5-minute 30 mark with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in qualifying.
Ryan, my guy to watch for tonight is Ryan Steele. He's on the track right now, looking to set his quick lap here tonight. Last week, if I pull up the points here real quick, he finished second at Texas Motor Speedway and only led 3 laps of that race. So he's got some work to do here tonight, but I really like the prospect of him here.
Another guy we're going to have to watch after his run last week is Kyle Mccartney in his number 18 machine. Kyle had 46 laps at Texas last week, and some wild tire strategy found him losing his lead to Brian Barnes late in the race. So Kyle Mccartney going to have to be a little smarter here this week if he wants to take home the big W from the Hawkeye State.
And not to mention that Kyle's not very far behind in points either here, Ryan. He's only 42 down to Bentley right now. He's only down 3 to Jeff Hollingsworth. And I mean, this could really shake out well for him here.
It is a very, very tight points battle, as you just mentioned. Your top 6 points are only separated by 50 points. Ryan Steele currently rides in 6th. He's only 49 points back of your points leader, Bentley Glazer, coming into tonight's race number 8 of 20 for your 2020 season for the Western States Racing League Truck Series. 2021, I'm sorry. These years are just blustering me all over.
Here we go.
So it looks like the next driver out to the track will be the 99 car, Mr. Barry Phil. Barry, a driver, one of those Canadian drivers that I mentioned earlier, currently sits at 25th in the WSRL point standings, coming off 150 miles an hour into turn number 3. Good looking 99 machine, copy of a couple of those Craftsman Truck Series trucks that we see all the time. Good looking Jegs machine as he comes across. Only good for 21st at a 24.161, but good thing is he's got another lap, Ben.
And you're going to see here, Ryan, I'm the positivity guy. He finished last week at 29th. He was down 4 laps, so he's looking to turn the luck around here this weekend. It just seems like everything that I talk about always comes back to managing your ride, which down 4 laps in a big race isn't that bad. So see if he can get her done here tonight.
Barry Phil pulls off on his last lap after touching the wall. He sits at a 24.161 in 21st. About a minute to go here with qualifying. 22 cars have taken a time so far, with your current leader being Bentley Glazer and his number 87 machine. Kyle McCartney, Brian Barnes, Bob Beltrami, Kevin Thrift round up your top 5. Then you have Ryan Steele, Marty Ray, Jeff Schmeier, Dennis Fuson, and Rob Gall as your top 10. So before we get into our great main event racing action here tonight, we would like to let you know that tonight's broadcast of the Western States Racing League is sponsored by DiecastNuts.com. Post your own diecast collection, add to or to trade in the shop, and see other members' diecast collections at DiecastNuts.com. And you can find them on Facebook at DiecastNuts. It's also brought to you by Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is one of the leading setup builders for the iRacing community. Find dirt and asphalt setups, tuning guides, fuel sheets, and much, much more at RocketRacingSetups.com today. Tonight's race is also brought to you by the WSRL Series sponsor, Outdoor Cast Iron Cooking on YouTube. Fantastic outdoor cast iron cooking videos. You can find them on YouTube and subscribe to them today. So that will bring us to the end of our qualifying efforts. Bentley Glazer sets fast time at a 23.561. He is going to be the truck to watch tonight, but it's going to be interesting to see his tire and fuel strategy as we go on. So we're going to line up as follows as we pull up our starting grid of the night. Rolling off from the pole in the number 87 machine, it will be Bentley Glazer as aforementioned. The 18 of Kyle McCartney will roll off second. The 4 of Brian Barnes third. To his outside will be the 14 of Bob Beltrami. Next row back on the inside, you find Kevin Thrift in the 66 machine. Alongside him, Ryan Steele in the 12. Starting 7th will be Marty Ray in his 65. To his outside will be Jeff Schmeier in the number 30. Starting 9th will be the 11 of Dennis Fuson. And to his outside, the 31 of Rob Gall. We go back to 11th where you find the 53 of Carl Burke. To his outside will be the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Starting 13th will be the 16 of David Weaver. 14th, the 3 of Paul Hoffman. 15th will be the 46 of Earl Weaver. Starting 16th will be the 04 of Dustin Burns. The 25 of Wayne Hutchinson will start 17th. 18th is where you'll find the 40 of Charles Woods. 19th, the 27 of David Wood. 20th will be that 72-year-old driver out of Canada, the 48 of Mark McFadden. 21st, you'll find Barry Phil. 22nd will be Tom Miles. 23rd will be Ron Holyfield in his 7 car. 24th looks like the 17 of Timothy Bates. 25th, the 07 of Keith Hellman. 26th will be the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. Then you'll find Eric Woods, Jackson Bell, James Campbell, and Dan Stussy rounding out a field of would-be 30 trucks.
Definitely a stout field here tonight, Ryan. Lots of people to watch. Some starting up front, some starting back in the middle there. A guy like Jeff Hollingsworth. And then obviously you have your guys like Bob Beltrami, Bentley Glazer up front. It's going to be one to watch here tonight.
That I'm going to keep my eye on all night just because I absolutely love the paint scheme. It brings back so many memories for me. There's that 3 car of Paul Hoffman. The Budweiser theme just does me so right in my sentimental bones. Ben, you love that Budweiser scheme as well, don't you, buddy?
Absolutely right. Yeah, who doesn't love that paint scheme? It just means so much to the sport, and building the foundation of what we all love to do, which technology led to doing on the computer here. So it's a blessing, to have a guy like that in your sport is something that every sport has their own.
You look up front, the lights are out on the iRacing pace truck. That means we are going to take one to go, this time by at the line. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it will be on like Donkey Kong for 160 laps here with the Western States Racing League Truck Series. Again, a lot of amazing drivers here tonight. Bentley Glazer has come off of some amazing runs so far this year, leading these points. He's going to lead us to green here in his number 87 machine. Watch Kyle McCartney on his outside. McCartney, a driver who had some just awful luck last week, and he's going to look to rebound in a big way here this week as the iRacing pace truck dips down onto the pit lane. We're getting ready to boogie to the 87 of Bentley Glazer leads us to the green here at Iowa.
Looks like we got a clean start to this one so far here. Field stacking up a little bit towards the middle of the pack.
It absolutely is. The only real action we're seeing right now is between the 31 car, the 97 of Hollingsworth, and that 53 machine of Carl Burke, as they're all fighting for about the 10th position. Give it to the 31 of Gall right now, as he's still on the inside of that 97 of Hollingsworth, and he's going to contain the 10th position as we go down the back straightaway here at the Iowa Speedway.
And Brian Barnes here, Ryan, is taking a look to the inside of Beltrami. That's the battle for the third spot between the car number 14 and number 4.
Looks like that 4 is going to give way as Barnes is going to now fight with Kevin Steele for the 4th position. Steele's got a run on the outside, but Barnes is going to continue to hold his line on the inside, and you're not getting any better than low man wins here at Iowa.
Don't hold your breath too long here, because McCartney's starting to give the run. And just as he's starting to make that run on Bentley, caution in the back.
Like that 12 of Ryan Steele just kind of cocked it sideways off of turn number 4 and could not hold it as that 12 car went chicaning towards the infield. Exactly what happened is you take a look at our ESPN replay of that incident. Single truck spin. It was the 12 of Ryan Steele, that driver out of the Midwest region. Tough break because he'll have to fall all the way back after being involved in that caution.
Yeah, it got a little bit dicey there for a minute. There's some real battle shaping up here already at this point.
What a lot of drivers tend to forget is that the tire model that's now currently in iRacing, it takes about 3 to 4 laps to really heat up and become stable, and you see incidents just like that with the 12 happen all the time. As you gas up off the corner and just do it a little bit too quickly, the tires haven't really fired yet, and you go do-si-do, 2x2, 4x4, however you want to do it. You take a little do-si-do, looks like you're doing the hoedown back in the old country western days. And tough break for that 12 car. Yeah,
they're definitely a handful to corral there for the first couple laps as you're getting them warmed up, especially while you're 2-3 wide, 3 rows deep here, trying to fight for that front spot. Try to get one spot early there and just get a little bit loose, and here we are.
So what would have been interesting to me was to see if anybody decided that they wanted to pit and take any fuel here this early. So far, I don't see anybody coming off of pit road, so that tells me that nobody decided that it was a bold strategy to take any fuel here only on lap number 5 of 160. So that means that they all may be on the same pit cycle as everybody else.
And another big factor to that is, I didn't really notice if there was any real heavy collision back there in that wreck, but did anybody take any damage this early on in the race here, just at lap 6?
You look back at that 91 car, Scott Hutchison, he is on pit road. Not sure why he's down there. Maybe had a little bit of damage to get checked out by his crew members. He is now back on the track in that 91 machine. Let's check on a couple of other drivers here. Let's look at Wayne Hutchinson. Wayne Hutchinson, a lot of front-end damage to his Toyota. He's going to pull it down into pit road here as we work pace laps here on lap number 6.
And we'll see, does a guy like Mark McFadden, does he, really take advantage of something like that happening early in the race, do you think, here, Ryan?
It's yet to see. It's yet to see. Again, Mark McFadden currently riding around, scored in the 17th position, maybe on the track for a little further up, but Mark McFadden is going to be one of those drivers to watch. He has been doing this for a very, very long time. Very experienced is McFadden. Like I said, drives in the Monday night league that is broadcasted here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, as well as the Friday Night Super Speedway Series that is broadcasted here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. So McFadden, a driver that a lot of our compatriots are very, very acquainted with. A lot of fans out there for driver 48. Most of you know him driving the 70 car, I believe, but that is the same guy in the 48. As the field goes back double file, taking a look at our pace car here. Lights are out on the pace car, so that tells me, Ben, we're going back green flag racing.
And Bentley Glazer's going to bring him down here to the flag.
Glazer paces the field at a calm, steady 50 miles an hour into turn number 3 here at Iowa. The Hawkeye State coming alive here tonight for the Western States Racing League. It's Glazer, McCartney, Beltrami, Barnes, Thrift. Your top 5 as the pace car dips down. The leader, Glazer, fires. The 18 doesn't get quite a jump, but the 14 does. We're going to be too wide, looks like, going into turn number 1 as that 18 of McCartney shuts the door on the 14 of Beltrami and contains his second position. Big shuffle up about mid-pack. You see there that 97 car of Hollingsworth went to the inside of the 31 of Rob Gall. Nothing doing for him. We look further back, the 30 and the 4. That's Barnes and Schmeier battling it out for the 4th and 5th positions.
And in front of them, you see it in a good run here by McCartney and Glazer, just really trying to chug along here. Beltrami, see if he can stay patient, work something out. A guy like Brian Barnes has been battling it out with Shimmer. We'll see if that takes effect to their tires here after, I don't know, what do you think that we're looking at here? Another 20, 25 laps, maybe somewhere in that range, somewhere around lap 36, maybe a tire window here, Ryan?
We should, based on gas and tires, they should make it to around lap 40, I do believe, but we could see some things shake up here, shake up this mix of cars, as right now you look back through the field, the only real battle is between Paul Hutchinson in the 3 and the 23 car of Jackson Bell. They're battling for the 12th position on the track. Hutchison stuck on the outside. Bell peeks to the inside, but now Bell's going to pull back up in line and give the position back to the 3 of Paul Hutchison. Once again, Bell thinks he has a run to the inside. Hutchinson stuck on the outside. It's going to be all Bell down the back straightaway. Hutchison's got to get a run in his 3 truck if he wants to contain the 12th position on the track, and he does so as he slams the door right back in front of the face of Jackson Bell, a driver who did not take time in qualifying. Bell is trying to earn a win the very, very hard way. Started back in 28. He's already your biggest mover of the race, and he's up to 13th position so far.
Marty Ray here, Ryan. He's putting together a run. Started 12th up to 8th here.
Marty Ray sure is putting in a heck of a performance so far. Has made his way around Jeff Hollingsworth. Marty Ray may be using one of those rocket racing setups here tonight, as he is bad fast so far.
Absolutely, but Jeff Hollingsworth isn't going to go away easy, I can tell you that.
We've got an absolute banger of a battle brewing right now for the 5th position on the track between the 30 of Jeff Schmeier and the 66 of Kevin Thrift. Thrift started in 5th, is currently riding in the 6th position as Schmeier's made his way around him. And Jeff Schmeier is making his way towards the 4th place car, the 4 of Brian Burns. Schmeier is a car that you're not going to want to count out here for the next 144 laps of this race.
Oh, he did something to that thing.
He absolutely did, as that 30 car seems to be on a rail so far. We look up in front of them. It's a battle for, I believe, the third position between Bob Beltrami and Brian Barnes. Barnes peeked to the inside, nothing doing for him. Falls back in line, but oh boy, that could have been a shakeup real early here at Iowa. No other real battles so far on the track. We take a look towards the back. We got a battle brewing for, I believe, the 18th position. That 27 car of David Wood looks to the inside of the 48 of Mark McFadden. McFadden just doesn't quite have the Hot Wheels power ride under him currently, as he's starting to fade further and further back. He was up to, I believe, the 17th position, and now Burns is going to put him back into 18th. Or Wood will put him back into 19th.
Brian Barnes is making a big move here on Beltrami. Takes a 3rd spot from him down the back stretch here.
That he does, and the 30 of Schmeier are going to follow him right up as they both peek to the inside of Beltrami. Beltrami caught up there in no man's land, but is able to get back around that 30 and tell him, hey man, just calm down for a little bit. Let me ride where I'm at and try to gain some momentum back. But Brian Barnes jumps up into the 3rd position. But it is a big, big gap from 1st and 2nd back to 3rd, as Barnes is 1.8 seconds off of your leader.
He's bringing his friends here too, Marty Ray and Kevin Thrift.
That's exactly right. Thrift and Ray are beating on the back of Schmeier right now, as they're trying to catch up with their buddies and move further and further up this pack.
We'll see, does that conservation, you can hear it in the throttle here right now, that, guys are really starting to be lighter on the pedal. There's a little bit of something in the bottom, and as I say that, Marty Ray takes over Kevin Thrift for the 6th spot.
That's exactly what he did, but don't count out Thrift just yet. That bottom line rolls through turns 1 and 2. The 66 just losing momentum after momentum, as the 65 is able to keep it up and away from him on the top side, going around Iowa 4 down the front straightaway as we work into lap number 23 here of the Western States Racing League.
We got quite the race so far, 23 laps down, and not a ton of passing, and obviously Bentley's running a really good race up here. Kyle's not letting him out of his sight either, but back here, 8th through, say what, 4th is just completely under a blanket right now.
That's exactly right. You can go to the thrift store, pick out the biggest quilt you can find, throw it over 4th through 10th, and you would have extra room in the blanket right now as these drivers fighting it out tooth and nail. But we look at the battle up in the front, a 4/10 of a second advantage right now for Glazer over McCartney. They come by the line, and it's grown just a little bit. So Glazer, he's not running away, but right now he's just crawling away from Kyle McCartney. Now 25 laps into this race.
And Jackson Bell, he started back in 28th. I heard you talking about him earlier, Ryan. He's up to 11th now, just short of the top 10. and he is coming like a freight train.
That's exactly right. Bell has only run a couple of races with WSRL so far this year, sits with 108 points in 30th position in the point standings. He needs a lot of work if he wants to catch up to Bentley Glazer, who currently leads this race and leads the points, but with so many races left to go in the season, it is absolutely possible for the driver that currently sits in 108th position, or 108 points in the 30th position, my bad.
Hollingsworth is making a big move here on the inside of Beltrami, Ryan. He's got a really... Beltrami makes a nice run there.
Beltrami does make a nice run there. Clears Hollingsworth, but big problems for Beltrami. Gets very, very tight up in the middle of the corner. That allows Hollingsworth around, and Beltrami falls right back to the 5th position. Problems for Beltrami as he started up there near the top and has consistently just lost your top 2 or 3, and now he's starting to fall back as that 66 car, or 65 of Marty Ray is now going to begin pressuring him.
And look right behind him, Jeff Schimmer's throwing his hat here in the ring on the low side, see if he can get something done here.
That's exactly right. Jeff Schmeier is right there as well.
Again here.
All of these cars. Big wall touch there for the 30 of Schmeier, as he now has that 53 of Carl Burke to his inside. A car that's got ESBN on the back of it. A sentimental favorite for all of us here at ESBN. The 53 gets around the 30. Here comes the 66 of Kevin Thrift to the inside. Action all over the racetrack here in Iowa.
What was that?
Dan Stussy looks like he has checked out early on the night. Does not appear to be on the racetrack anymore. Looks like he may have had an unfortunate crash. So the 78 machine of Dan Stussy not on the racetrack anymore. Another early leaver tonight. Another early leaver will be the 46 of Earl Weaver, who is currently 3 laps down, has not been on the track for the past 3 laps. So still 28 cars are in this race. Wayne Hutchison is currently that 28th car.
And there's some decent battles shaping up back here in the back of the pack as well. You can see Eric Woods, James Campbell here. He's going to have a big run.
That's exactly right. But we continue to look at that 14 machine of Bob Beltrami. He's just consistently getting pressured by the 65 of Marty Ray, and now the 53 of Carl Burke's throwing his name in the hat. Ray gets around Beltrami in turn number 4. Going to try to close him off. Not going to do it. Beltrami keeps his momentum on the outside, and they pull even at the line that time by. You know, you look at these trucks here. These guys are absolutely flying. 23-second laps are rather consistent with what their IRL counterparts are doing at the Iowa Speedway. A little bit off of the bigger series, but these guys are still absolutely flying here as we take off yet another lap. Beltrami now scored back in the 5th position, got back around Ray that time around the circuit.
Absolutely, Ryan. If you look at Jeff Billingsworth here, he is coming for Brian Barnes very, very swiftly.
Looks like the 11 of Dennis Fuson is making some moves. Looks to the inside of Jackson Bell. Whoa, big turn! The 11 gets turned by the 23. Caution is out on the speedway. Not enough room in a very, very small place. As we look back at the battle between the 23 and the 11 here in our ESPN replay, Jackson Bell and the 11 of Fuson got just tangled. As I don't know if the 23 pushed down and the 11 pushed up. It looks like they both did the exact opposite of each other at the exact same time. Contact was made. Boom, bang, crash, pow.
That's exactly what happened there, Ryan. And then you can see he collected, it looked like two more cars, and a third just diving out at the very last second.
That was the 30 of Jeff Schmeier. The 48 of Mark McFadden was around the area, but did get by that wreck. The other person involved was the 12 of Ryan Steele. And Steele got minimal damage, but he did pull through. Very minimal damage for Steele, but he was slightly involved in that incident.
Yeah, Jeff Schumacher was putting in a good run there. Got a little bit tied up in there. We'll see if he uses his fast repair here or not. Definitely has the speed to be at the front of the pack, so we'll see. This is when decision time comes into play, and managing that race car, sometimes there's just nothing that you can do about it.
Speaking of decision time, all of your front runners are on pit road. Scott Hutchinson with a bold move. He is the first one off of pit road. Bentley Glazer still on pit road. The 04 machine of Dustin Burns comes off behind Hutchison. Hutchison was running in 26th, and after that bold pit strategy, is going to gain a lot of positions here.
Yeah, you're gonna, that's why I talked a lot about maintaining the car, and we're right in the window as it is anyway here at lap 38. You can see some of these guys opting not to repair the car. It's early in the race. If you can keep yourself on the lead lap here for as long as you can, get in there under green, probably really not a bad idea at this point. So pit strategy is going to come a lot into play, as you see here in these smaller wrecks, and a lot of guys are getting really fortunate with that too.
Speaking of a man who decided to gamble the dice here and stay out so far, that 99 of Berryfield, a driver you spoke on earlier, he's still not ducking off, so he may stick out here and try to take a race lead whenever we go back green flag racing. And this caution is a perfect time to talk about it. Ben, the Western States Racing League has been around since 1999. This is their 44th season of action here. Not just with the trucks, but they do all different sorts of things. Ben, what were you doing in 1999, my man?
1999, 3 years old, Ben Bruno. I don't really remember what I was doing that day, but I was probably playing with a die-cast race car from Die-Cast Nuts, I can tell you that much.
That's exactly right. Hey, it's even worse for me because in 1999, I was 1 year old. These guys were sim racing whenever I was 1 year old. It's absolutely crazy to think about. And heck, 44 seasons later, over 23, 24 years later, these guys are still hard and at it. And speaking of diecastnuts.com, they are one of our main sponsors here at the Esports Broadcasting Network. You can post your own diecast collection on diecastnuts.com. You can add to it or trade in the shop feature they have. And you can find them on Facebook. Just look up Diecast Nuts. They are right there. And also another big key element to your iRacing simulation will be your iRacing setups. You can find the best iRacing setups at rocketracingsetups.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Rocket Racing Setups. Now, lights are out on the iRacing Pace truck. The 99 of Barry Phil is your current race leader. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him. Ben Bruno, take us back to the green flag in a half a lap.
And Barry Phil's going to bring us down here out of turn 3 into turn 4. Bentley Glazer starting on our outside. Kyle McCartney sitting in the third spot here. Brian Barnes. This is going to be a shuffle here, Ryan. And Barry's going to light him up as he sends him down into turn 1. Back to you here, Ryan.
You can see right off the bat how much the tires are going to play a factor. Barry Phil awful slow, gonna jam them all up. The 97 sideways, saves it. Oh, my Lord, what a save by the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth.
That was remarkable there, Ryan. I'll tell you what, if he wouldn't have kept that thing together, there would have been some people paying the price there. You know, maybe it's off of that pit that he's on cold tires again.
It's possible, but it looked more so that the 99 of Phil just had the entire bottom line stacked and packed, ready to ship them out. And that 97 made contact with the person in front of him and just sort of kind of started to go around. But amazing wheel work by driver 97 to keep her together. And we look at a driver who's made some big moves right now. Barry Phil, like you said, he was up to first. He started in 21st. He has already fallen back to 8th, make it 10th as the 97 of Hutchinson goes around him. 3 wide down the back straightaway between the 97, the 3, and the 99 into turn number 3. Give it to the 97 so far. Jeff Hollingsworth gets around both the 3 of Hoffman and the 99 of Phil. 48 touches the 99. 99 goes around. 23 is involved as well. Big melee at the start-finish line.
And they're going to collect a slight junkyard here in the front stretch.
Where I'm from, the saying is, you better call Lee Bryce because it's a parking lot party. A few drivers are going to be taken out as a result of that hard contact between that 99 and the 48 of McFadden, causing a bit of a melee here at Iowa Speedway.
And again, you know, I'm pretty sure I saw some guys that were able to slink their way through there. Let's see if I can get a better look at it here.
See the 23 of Jackson Bell, the 16 of David Weaver, the 07 of Keith Kelman looks like he's involved. The 7 of Ron Holyfield's involved. All kinds of cars here. A calamity straightaway, if you will, here at the Iowa Speedway. Boy, oh boy, 66 of Thrift taking damage as well. A lot of your front-running cars taking damage in this melee on lap number 46 of 160. So some of those faster pairs are going to get used right here, right now.
Yeah, I'd assume at this point that you're kind of going to have to. I mean, when you're one of those guys running up front and you really have the speed, you're feeling really comfortable in there tonight. I mean, you got to have that car in the best shape that you possibly can. I stand by that.
Well, the man that took a huge gamble was that 99 of Barry Phil, and in this case did not work out for Phil whatsoever as he restarted on the pole, slowed the entire bottom line up, and then as soon as he gets to the outside and tries to get out of the way, tough luck for driver 99 as he is involved in this wreck here on lap number 45. The rest of the field looks like it is going to stay out, however, as your leader currently once again is Bentley Glazer in the 87 truck.
Yeah, and they got pretty shuffled up there too. You know, Charles Woods starting 18th up to 7th here. You know, there's a whole bunch of guys that right now, between putting on a good run, being able to manage those wrecks, you know, they're putting it together here early on. You know, we're what, a quarter of the way through the race here.
That's just about right. As a driver that very well surprised me, that last little green flag run we had was that 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth, as he almost did go around there as soon as we started that run, and then rebounded very quickly, got around the 3 car, got around the 65, got around Barry Phil, and he's making a strong hard charge back to the front.
Carl Burke, you know, still sitting up there inside the top 5, starting outside the top 10. We got a lot of big movers here tonight, that's for sure.
We absolutely do, and some of the action on the racetrack is what is resulting in those big movers. A lot of guys are benefiting from avoiding wrecks. We see so far Charles Woods from 18th to 7th, Carl Burke from 11th to 4th. I mean, Mark McFadden from 20th to 11th. Wayne Hutchinson is up from 17th to 12th. James Campbell from 29th to 13th. A lot of guys here making some very strong moves, as you said. And a guy that this is going to hurt, as he is now slated as a DNF. Jackson Bell started 28th, made his way up to, I believe, the 8th or 9th position, and then was involved in 2 cautions in a row, and he has now exited the track and taken it back to the hauler. Jackson Bell's night is done here at Iowa.
I was just looking at that there, Ryan. Just looking at it.
Tough break for Jackson Bell, a driver with so much potential, a beautiful race truck, and just unfortunately cannot seem to avoid these cautions here tonight. So let's take a look at the iRacing pace truck. Lights have gone out. It looks like we will go back green flag racing off of turn 4 this time by once again. Your leader is Bentley Glazer running in second. Currently is Brian Barnes. Third remains Bob Beltrami. So that looks just as it did before our first caution. But then the big shakeup, you have Carl Burke in fourth. Kyle McCartney's fallen all the way back to the 5th position on the track. Rob Gall, Charles Woods, Jeff Hollingsworth, Paul Hoffman, and Marty Ray round out your top 10 as we go into turn number 3, ready to go back green flag racing here at the Iowa Speedway.
And Kevin Thrift got a little bit caught up there after that wreck. He was just coming out of the pits there as they're coming around here to take the green.
That's exactly right. As the 87 of Glazer rolls into the restart zone, the green flag flies. We are once again underway here at the Iowa Speedway. Your leader in the 87, that's Bentley Glazer.
And they're dicing it up back here around 6th, between 6th and 7th. Jeff Hollingsworth and Rob Gall. Also, Marty Ray, we've been talking about him a lot here tonight. See if he can.
On the racetrack. We look a little bit further. Jeff Hollingsworth battling with the 31 of Rob Gall once again. Hollingsworth to the outside, Gall on the inside. Hollingsworth going to look for that run off of turn number 2, but that inside's just too strong. He's going to use the 53 of Burke as a pick. Going to try to get around both Burke and Hollingsworth at the same time, but it looks like so far their runs are stalled.
For third on Beltrami. He's going to take a look down here on the inside, see if he can make it stick. Beltrami's got a good bit of momentum there through the middle, though, Ryan.
That is exactly right, as the 18 and the 14 continue to do battle for the 3rd position. It's the 18 with the advantage off of turn number 4. Is going to clear, going to pull to the outside right up in front of his nose, slams the door. 2 Toyotas doing battle for 3rd here. Beltrami going to give way and let the 18 begin his march towards that 4-car Barnes.
And here comes Hollingsworth.
The man of the hour, Jeff Hollingsworth, after his save earlier, has made his way around both the 31 and the 53. Slides in the 6th position. And he is going to make his charge towards these top 4 cars as he now runs in the 5th position on the track.
Bentley Glazer's just having a really, really solid run here tonight. You know, I'm not exactly sure how many laps he's led thus far, but it seems like it's been an awful lot of them. But you can't knock a guy like Brian Barnes or Kyle McCartney either, because they've been running good races. Keeping care of the car very well at this point. Just see where hopefully they can keep the luck rolling here, and as we get to lap 60 and we got 100 to go.
So far, I do believe that Glazer has led every green flag lap that we've had tonight, because the 99 did not lead a lap while we were under green, because as soon as we restarted on that restart, he did start falling straight back. Oh, big contact between the 12 and that Hooters truck, the 22. 22 is able to keep her going in the right direction. The 12 of Ryan Steele gave him a shot in the previous turn. That was turn number 2. But that Hooters truck was able to keep her going. Good thinking by Steele to back off and let him have it from there on out. Other than that, this is one of those times during every race where everybody's just trying to feel out the competition, see what they have, see what everybody else has. Do we take a look back at your leader? Glazer has opened up a 1.441 second advantage last time by over the 4 of Brian Barnes, and it's 1.5 seconds back to McCartney, as currently McCartney and Barnes are doing battle, exchanging blows for the second position. It's McCartney to the inside. McCartney's going to take it. Barnes right back to the inside as McCartney overdrove the corner. It's neck and neck at the line for second.
Bob Beltrami, don't count him out. He's sitting back there just looking for the side-by-side battle to go his direction.
Like you said, Beltrami currently playing bridesmaid to the battle for the second position. Just watching as these two guys trade blow for blow, pound for pound. The 18 currently has the advantage. Last time by at the line, both drivers, well, one driver was scored 1.786 seconds. The other one was scored 1.788 seconds behind the leader. This time at the line, the battle not as close, as one is 1.9 seconds behind the leader, the other is 2 seconds behind the leader. But do not count out that 4 or that 14 yet, as they're all three running different lines around Iowa Turn 4.
And this, this three-way battle that's going on here is really paying off to Hollingsworth. He's certainly reeled in on Beltrami here, and he's looking to capitalize on him.
Did you say that the man that it has most benefited this battle is the 87 of Bentley Glazer, as he has now opened up a 2.1 second advantage over second, and it's growing and growing and growing every single lap. That 97 of Hollingsworth peeks to the inside, doesn't quite have the run just yet, but low man wins here. The Iowa Speedway yellow flag is waved on the racetrack.
It looks like maybe Mark McFadden.
I see the 07 of Keith Keelman.
McFadden and Bates getting together here, Ryan.
And then the 07 went tumbling through the infield afterwards. So it was McFadden getting loose off of the door of the 85 of Eric Woods, and then collecting the 17 as well as the 07, who came barreling through the infield just moments later.
Lucky that we didn't collect a couple more of them that time there. There was a nice little pack of guys running together there.
That is exactly right, but still tough luck for the 72-year-old out of Canada, Mark McFadden, with heavy rear damage to his number 48 Ford F-150, as he'll dipper down into the pit road, try to get a quick repair here on lap number 68 of 160 from the famed Iowa Speedway.
We're going to see a couple cars come down pit road here. It's the number 7 of Ron Holyfield. The number 48 of McFadden. And the 27 of David Wood.
I sure wouldn't want to be a driver that roughs up Ron Holyfield on the track, because if he holds up to his last namesake, he might have a powerful right hand if you rough him up on him a little too much, I should say. That's exactly right. Executive producer here with ESPN, Sam Cooper Bennett, seemed to be the only one that got that joke, and I'm super grateful for Sam being here tonight, because nobody would have known who Evander Holyfield was if he wasn't here. Leave it to the Irishman to know about boxing records. So, and before my people out there say that Conor McGregor is the best Irish fighter ever, Sam did just point out to me in my ear that Conor McGregor does not count. I don't know, though. I think he does. He did have a boxing match. It didn't go too well for him, but Conor McGregor was once a boxer and might even be one again. Boy, I wish the people could hear Sam right now because he is spot on. Conor McGregor, Manny Pacquiao would be an amazing fight. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Back to the action here on the track. We're currently under a caution flag here at the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Again, this 0.88 mile asphalt oval sees Bentley Glazer in the lead currently. Lights still on the pace trucks. We will at least have one more pace lap. Kyle McCartney rides in second. A hard charger here so far as he fell back to, I believe, the 5th position and then made his way back around Brian Barnes and Bob Beltrami to currently sit in second. Jeff Hollingsworth is that 4th place car, smudged in between all of those guys. Rob Gall, Carl Burke, Marty Ray, Wayne Hutchison, and Paul Hoffman are currently your top 10.
We haven't talked a whole lot tonight about Wayne Hutchinson, Ryan. He's from 17th up to 9th right now. Definitely putting together a solid run. Looking at his truck, looks like he might have a little bit of front fender damage, maybe. But he's keeping it together here, putting it towards the front.
That's exactly right. Wayne Hutchison, a driver out of the Northwestern region, currently sits 10th place in the WSRL point standings at 202 points, 88 points behind your current points leader, Bentley Glazer. And right now, he looks bad fast in that number 25 machine. He does have that little bit of damage that you did just point out, but that Toyota looks pretty fast here tonight. I'm still keeping my eyes on that 3 of Paul Hoffman, who has now scored in the 10th position. That Budweiser truck can raise heck and praise Dale. I'm not going to say the other word, but you all know where I was going with that. That Budweiser truck, do not count him out just yet.
No, you really can't at this point, Ryan. You look at a guy like Charles Woods, Eric Woods. I mean, these guys are really moving here. Benefit of the smaller wrecks that we've been seeing is a pit strategy, or were you just driving a really good race? I'm thinking that they're running a really good race here tonight.
You say that the green flag flies once again here at Iowa. Glazer with a nice restart over the 18 of McCartney. It's Glazer out front. Battle for a third currently between that 97 of Hollingsworth and the 4 of Brian Barnes. Battle for 6th as well. That they are the 65, the 25, and the 53. It's Burke, Ray, and Hutchison, as it looks like the 31 of Gall has overtaken everybody, and he currently rides in the 6th position.
Carl Burke, not sure if he stalled her out a little bit there on the restart, but he slid back about 4 or 5 spots there off that restart.
ESBN sponsored number 53 machine is on the move, sticks to the inside of that 65 of Marty Ray, as he's going to be scored in 8th position that last lap. But look at the run he's got on the inside off of turn number 2. But it's Ray right back to the outside, and they are neck and neck into turn number 4. That seems to be the only real big battle going on the racetrack until you go back to the 15th through 22nd positions, as Barry Phil is starting to move and juke and jive and shake his way back towards the front. We got 3 wide for about the 23rd position on the racetrack, but they all seem to be wanting to settle it out. These guys at the back are chomping at the bit to find a little bit of speed in these Gander outdoor trucks.
And Wayne Hutchinson's got a front row seat for this good battle. It's shaping up right now. That's going to be between Carl Burke and Marty Ray. I know that you were talking about it there for a minute, Ryan, but these guys are bare knuckle boxing right now.
He might have a front row seat, but he's also got a back row contender, as Paul Hoffman is now lurking and stalking that 25, and he sees this opportunity, jigs to the inside. It's the 3 and the 25, neck and neck into turn number 3 for the 9th position, I should say. 25 continues to have the run out onto the tri-oval. 3 car gives up for now, falls back in line in 10th. Right now, those two are going to settle down, and we're going to look further back in the field. Nothing too much really going on. A lot of single file action. Oh, we got a 3-wide battle. 25, 3 and 30. 3 wide at the line. Oh my Lord. The 25 of Wayne Hutchison. You stop talking about him for a second, and all of a sudden we got 3 wide. Where in the world did the 30 of Jeff Schmeier come from?
Yeah, he's certainly no slouch, Ryan, that's for sure. That last lap that he ran was a 24.2, so he's certainly not far off of the pace that he wants to be at.
Absolutely not far off at all. Again, speaking of a 24.2, all of these drivers are a good bit off of their qualifying times, but that's what's going to happen with a 100% racetrack.
And he's
This
still
thing,
confident here.
These
He
things
just
as
passed
slick as it
on
comes.
the outside here. I was looking to the inside of Marty Ray. He just keeps coming and coming and coming right now.
That's exactly right. He may have figured out something that none of these other drivers have figured out. It looks like we're going to about to have some 30-on-31 violence as Schmeier pulls up to the backside of Rob Gall, looking for the 7th position.
And he is going to do just that.
That's exactly what he did. Now to the inside. That boy is all over the place. Mama, go get that man. The 30 of Jeff Schmeier's coming to the front.
And now he's going to go to work on the number 4 of Brian Barnes.
That's
there he goes.
That's exactly right. Barnes was your winner last week at the Texas Motor Speedway. So far, a good run for him points-wise, but that 30 of Schmeier, the fastest driver on the track besides Bentley Glazer currently, as he's made his way up to the 4th position. That also opened the door for the 14 of Bob Beltrami to the inside of the 4 of Brian Barnes, as he's now going to look to take the 5th position away from Barnes, and he does so into turn number 2.
Starting to space out, like I said earlier here, Bentley's just, calm, cool, and collected right now. Just trying to, not make a really big mistake.
That's exactly right. Another battle we have brewing on the racetrack. We had just spoken about the 30 and the 31 about 2 laps ago, but the 31 has fallen back further and further, as now he's battling with the 53 of Carl Burke, and Burke has now taken the position. Burke up to 8th, Rob Gall back to 9th.
And the 30 of Schemer here, he's going to take the 3rd spot away from Hollingsworth.
That is exactly what he did. Schmeier still on a mission here. He's about 0.8 of a second off of McCartney, but quickly gaining in, as he's now only 0.4 of a second off of McCartney. That time by the line, that 30 of Schmeier is without a doubt the fastest truck on the racetrack here at Iowa.
And they're shaking it up a little bit back here. Marty Ray in the 7th position in the 65 car, with Carl Burke in the 53 and Brian Barnes in the 4.
While that's going on, we have a battle for the 2nd position. McCartney just got up out of the way, gave the 2nd position to Schmeier, and Schmeier is now going to begin his charge towards the 87 of Bentley Glazer. Sound the alarms. The 30 machine is coming to the front.
Yeah, he's moving in on Bentley Glazer here. That's for sure. We'll see. How long did he push it too hard for too long coming up through the rest of those guys? Is he going to be able to work on him here?
Ooh, big wall hit by the 18 of McCartney. Right now, you look at the lap timing. Schmeier faster than Glazer. Last time by was 1.7 seconds off. This time is 1.63 seconds off. So slowly but surely, Schmeier has casted the reel, set the hook, and slowly battling back reeling in the 87 of Glacier right now as we work down lap 91 of 160 here from the famed Iowa Speedway.
And you can see here, Ryan, the 30 car streamer here, he's working a totally different groove than Glazer is as well. Do you think that a little bit of that from him might be in tire preservation? Maybe try to get a little bit longer run here out of this number 30 car?
Slightly could, because he may be one of those that are on different pit strategy than everybody else. He is chopping off 1/10 of a second per lap on the 87 of Bentley Glazer. Although Glazer could be out front conserving his tires as well, trying to get as much out of this run as he can as we are starting to close in on what would be green flag pit stops here in the next 15 to 20 laps.
It'll be interesting to see, how many guys have used up their fast repair, and, even through a couple of those cycles there, did some guys burn up more sets of tires than they really intended to or wanted to at this point, and who's really going to be the biggest benefactor of these green flag stops here? And right now, we got Paul Hoffman mixing it up with Dwayne Hutchinson for the 10th spot.
That's exactly right. Hoffman decided it was time to get on the high horse. Kind of gives way to Hutchison, who gets back about a car length and a half out front of him. That opens the door for Charles Woods in the 40. But like I say, time and time again, low man usually wins in the corners, but off the corners, it's the outside guy who gets the run, and the 40 clears the 3 down the front straightaway, as now they are single filed back out in that battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th, with Wayne Hutchison continuing to ride in 10th in his 25 machine. A car that is starting to lose a lot of momentum, however, is a car who is a couple seconds in front of that small group and behind another bigger group. That is the 4 of Brian Barnes. Terrible luck so far for Barnes as he's just continuously falling further and further off of the pace. Now 8 seconds back of the leader and about 7/10 of a second back of the group in front of him. Now we see the 3 of Paul Hoffman has pulled off and onto pit road. An early pit strategy here for the driver of the Budweiser number 3 truck. That could be very, very beneficial if this thing were to go green here with 97 laps complete of the 160. A little over halfway here for Paul Hoffman. He's got a long way to go and at least 1 to 2 more pit stops, preferably, but that 3 car pitting early here to see if he can find out just how or what it takes to win here tonight. As you see that 87 coming up behind him into turn number 3 to put him another lap down.
And Jeff Schumacher's reeling him in here just as he's catching up to Paul Hoffman. We'll see how he comes into play here, and when do these two decide to take her in here, do you think?
That's exactly right. The 87 started this run with a 2-second advantage. Schmeier has lessened the gap all the way down to a half of a second. 0.5 of a second, and decreasing as they put the 24 car of Tom Miles another lap down. He's now 3 laps down. Schmeier rides in second. That time at the line, the advantage goes up to 0.533 seconds for Glazer over Schmeier.
And we've got some slower lap cars coming up here again.
The 04 having some trouble getting down to pit road. That's Dustin Burns bringing his number 04 Jack Daniels machine into pit road here, trying to figure out something to make that car just a little bit faster. You look at the racetrack, Hoffman right now, as he should be, the fastest car on the track after just coming in to take some tires. I stay on the battle that may be brewing for the lead, but currently Schmeier is staying right where he is, still 0.604 seconds back of your leader, Bentley Glazer, who's now picked up the gas pedal just a little bit more.
Yeah, we're 57 laps to go here. It's really been a good race thus far. A little bit of shuffling up through some different cautions and stuff, but really, a guy like Jeff Schumacher or Kyle McCartney, just putting on a really consistent run, continuing to battle through a guy like Carl Burke starting 11th up to 5th, or Hollingsworth, 12th up to 3rd, and that's the battle on the track to be looking at right now. Here is that battle between Hollingsworth and McCartney, as Hollingsworth's making a look to the inside.
That's exactly right. Neck and neck they go into turn number 3. Big slide for McCartney into the outside retaining wall, but he catches a run to the inside of Hollingsworth. What a recovery from McCartney, keeping that 18 machine going. Oh, fine and dandy, back to the inside and faster than the 97 of Hollingsworth at the moment.
And he got a lot of right front damage there too as well, Ryan. That was really, not a light impact with the wall there.
That he did, so amazing to see the rebound for the 18 of McCartney, but here comes Hollingsworth right back to the inside as we cross the start-finish line to go into lap number 106 of 160. Looks like the 66 of Kevin Thrift is heading into pit lane now. We see Wayne Hutchison currently on pit road, as well as the 4 of Brian Barnes, who is exiting pit road. These guys now, again, some of those early short pitters, going to look to see if they can take an advantage here. If this race were to stay green, a caution right now would be terrible for these drivers. More drivers ducking off will be the 48 of Mark McFadden. Driver catching some tough luck here tonight. Currently rides in the 15th position as he enters pit road. That Hot Wheels 50th anniversary machine of Mark McFadden. A beautiful truck for an amazing tenured driver. A lot of other guys saying they're coming to pit road. That includes Wayne Hutchison. Earl Weaver just giving the signal that he will come in as well.
Bentley Glazer's still holding off Jeff Schumacher here.
That's exactly right. That kind of sort of makes me think that Glazer was just conserving tires for a while. Because you saw early in the race, Glazer was absolutely the fastest driver. And just like that, you see the tap of the brakes off of Glazer. And here he comes down to pit road. The 87 is in for tires and fuel.
And there's a wreck coming in there.
There is not. Glazer just about spun it coming into pit road. And it looks like he just barely got down to pit speed limit before coming in. More cars coming in. Will be
There's
the
a lot of
07.
guys coming in right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of cars coming in. That'll be the 22 of James Campbell, the 07 of Keith Kelman, and many, many more joining them. We see there that 53 machine of Carl Burke as we cycle through green flag pit stops here at the Iowa Speedway.
And Jeff Schumacher decided to stay out here, and we'll see, if that's going to work for him here or not. There's definitely going to be some guys coming up with some speed here. He's going to opt to go for another lap here as well.
Well, Schmeier's going to have to be looking at pit road here very soon. Again, he was a driver that did pit during our last caution, about the only one that did. That's part of the reason that he was so fast during the early parts of that green flag run. But now here, the 30 of Schmeier trying to get some laps lead points, I guess, before he comes into pit, as you know he's going to have to very, very soon, as we work into lap number 113 of 160.
Derek Wood's having some trouble here getting into the pit stall. That's really going to cost him a couple spots here. Making a costly mistake like that can really turn your night around really quick, Ryan.
These kind of things are super duper easy to do in these Gander outdoor trucks. As Woods is finally down and away, but tough break for the 85 as that brake pedal just seemed to elude him getting into his pit stall. As he overshot it, backed up too far, then overshot it again. Tough break for the 85 of Eric Woods. see here on the racetrack, a lot of battles brewing, a lot of newly fast cars. The 7 of Ron Holyfield, who short pitted just a little while ago, is now getting passed by those cars that are a lap down. That's Glazer, Barnes, Hoffman, and Beltrami, all getting around the 7 of Holyfield and the 97 of the 91 of Scott Hutchison, who has not pitted yet. Kyle McCartney, another driver who short pitted earlier, is currently riding in second, 7.7 seconds back of the 30 of Jeff Schmeier, who we're going to keep an eye on here for the next couple of laps, as he may need to pit here very shortly, as he's been on the track for many, many laps since his last pit stop.
Yeah, I've been watching him, waiting for him to come here. I'm honestly kind of surprised that he hasn't come at this point.
Well, it does look like right now he's up at the top of the track trying to keep that momentum and conserve as much fuel as possible, continually letting these cars by. But if he was smart, he would pit. Well, if I was him, I would pit now, short pit, and try to keep these cars at least a lap down, maybe 2. But he's definitely 100% hoping and praying for a caution here in the next couple of laps. McCartney in once again. Kyle McCartney in his 18 machine looks to get 4 tires and fuel here on the pit lane. Again, these tires coming off these cars are going to be absolutely eaten up, as they just went about 55 to 60 laps on those tires during that green flag run.
And, we're getting a lot of green flag laps in here now. So, obviously through the beginning, it kind of tossed a wrench in things with the slight cautions that we had early on. But coming into lap 119 here, we're really, we're chugging along. Guys are really going to have to be worried about if they had used up one extra set of tires than they wanted to early on.
Very possible, like you said, all aboard the WSRL train here at the Iowa Speedway. You look up front, Jeff Schmeier still has a 15-second advantage, but it is being cut into every single lap. He is letting lap cars by time and time again. Again, hoping and praying that he has a caution up there against the wall, trying to save as much fuel as possible, trying to just coast around and stay on the racetrack. Schmeier, a very, very smart ride by a very, very smart driver, but will it come back to bite him in the long run is the big question here tonight.
He is running consistent though right now, Ryan. So that gap at the moment, I know it shrunk down a little bit, but he gains a little bit back here this lap.
He is running consistent laps, but the 87 of Bentley Glazer last time by was a full second faster than the 30 of Jeff Schmeier. And in racing terms, that is a lot faster. Speak of the devil, the 87 approaching the back of the 30 and might gain his lap back here, having to do it the hard way. Glazer to the inside of your lead car right now. Easy pass. See ya later. Thank you, ma'am, as Glazer gains his lap back on the 30 of Schmeier.
And that's big for Brian Barnes there. Him being able to get back on the lead lap is going to put Brian Barnes in that lucky dog position should we have a yellow come out here.
That's exactly right. Right now, it looks like your smartest contenders are the 30 of Schmeier, the 7 of Holyfield, and the 91 of Hutchinson, as they are all 3 still on the racetrack, with everybody else except for Bentley Glazer a lap down or more if something were to happen. But right now, all of these cars are 2x2 or 1x1 all the way around this famed Iowa Speedway. 46 gets a little loose looking to the inside of the 91, but everybody's able to keep her going in the right direction.
And they're getting a little bit stacked up now back there around the 17th position. That's Dave Wood, Mark McFadden. That's your boy there, Ryan.
That it is. Mark McFadden, one of my favorites in the iRacing community, as he should be about everybody's. You see that 87 of Glazer so fast right now. Got around McFadden, peeking to the inside of the 27. One of the fastest cars on the racetrack once again is Glazer. McFadden right there in that 50th anniversary Hot Wheels Ford F-150. Just falling further and further back to Glazer as he remains the last car on the lead lap at the current time. Since he passed Hutchinson, that did put Hutchinson as the last car on the lead lap.
And that, you know, the gap between Schumacher and Holyfield there up front, it's certainly not getting any smaller now at this point here, Ryan.
It certainly is not.
Sooner or later, and that's gonna shuffle up his night.
Look back here, Barry Phil is getting past left and right. Just keyed in, said he would stay high for that 31 car of Rob Gall as Gall continues his charge back towards the front. Phil is currently 6 laps down, running very, very slowly compared to his competitors. Maybe some engine trouble on that 99 machine, not quite sure. But Barry Phil has fallen further and further back from the rest of the pack. Other than that, not too much action going on right now as we scan through the field. And Schmeier, speak of the devil, is in pit road right now. Jeff Schmeier did all he could to try and wait for a caution, made it to lap 130. And this might be the end of his amazing run if these drivers can come around and overtake him. Good point there, as he will not need to pit again, but we could have another caution or two. This could be a good break and or a bad break for Schmeier with 31 laps to go. So that's how they're going to make or break his race.
And he's not going to be able to make it back out in front of him here.
No, he is not. He's going to fall back to the 12th position, so that puts Ron Holyfield as your leader, with Bentley Glazer currently at 2nd. So Glazer and Holyfield are on the same lap. The first car 1 lap down will be David Wood in that 27 machine. Mark McFadden, the second car, a lap down, but he's about 2/10 of a second off of Wood, I should say. Let's go back and take a look at that battle right now, see if McFadden can get close to him. That he cannot. So David Wood is all out by himself. If we were to have a caution, he would be the first car 1 lap down.
And James Campbell there, not sure if anybody caught it there. He had gotten into Bentley Glazer there coming down what would be the front stretch, if I'm not mistaken. They're both able to drive away from it, but it was just really late.
And all of these trucks pretty much single filed out, spread out. Whoa, big spin for the 27 of Wood into the outside wall. We're still green. Not sure how much longer that's going to last, as Wood came into contact there with, I believe it was the 46 after he had smacked the outside wall. Got together with the 3 of Hoffman, the 22 car.
And that's big
Campbell
for him to do here, Ryan. I mean, that takes him out of the lucky dog spot, which ultimately will leave him a lap down if we get to that point.
That it sure does. I'm surprised we didn't see the yellow flag fly here in Iowa, but luckily for Mark McFadden, it did not, as McFadden currently remains your lucky dog, and unluckily for Ron Holyfield, it does not, as Holyfield continues to lead, but that lead is losing and losing and losing, as Glazer is only 3/10 off of his lead.
And he's going to overtake him here. Yeah, he's going to overtake him here, Ryan.
That's exactly right. Holyfield did not stand a chance as Glazer got around him. I had to pan the camera back up and take a look at that battle for the lead. Glazer is now your leader once again.
And Hollingsworth is coming too. And I mean, obviously, you see a lot of these guys that we're talking about pretty often. A guy, Beltrami, Hollingsworth, Burke, Barnes, Ray, even Mccartney. He's working his way back up right now. He just overtook a spot from Marty Ray. That's going to put him in the 7th spot as they're really shaking it up back there.
Beltrami, a driver we talked about a good bit earlier, was lightning quick, but fell off a good bit for about 20 to 30 laps of the race, as well as that 4 car of Brian Burns did. But now they are both back within the top 6 cars, making their way back up to where they began. Ron Holyfield, that rides in second right now, 23rd starter on the grid earlier in the night. So right now he is your biggest mover if he can stay where he's at. Jeff Schmeier is absolutely on a tear once again in that 30 machine. And he might be the driver that sets himself up the absolute best here tonight. Pitting whenever everybody else did not. He pitted at lap 130, giving him 30 laps. Plenty of fuel, plenty of tire wear. Jeff Schmeier could be the man to beat here as he rides in 6th. On lap number 141, make it 5th at the line that time by.
Yeah, we both doubted him on that call, Ryan, and that's why he's driving, and we're talking about him doing the driving right there.
He said, I'm going to show those announcers who the boss is, as he looks to the inside of Beltrami. Very, very fast as that number 30 hasn't made the pass just yet, but he will going into turn number 1. And now he's going to turn his attention to the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth, just in front of him, and the 48 of Mark McFadden.
McCartney's looking to the inside here. Carl Burke, he's going to overtake him coming out of 4. See if Burke can put a good run back up on the inside.
That's exactly right.
To the line here, Ryan. They're going at it.
McCartney has been a driver who has been sort of kind of all over the place all night, has taken some damage, has hit the outside wall, but has saved it every single time, and sometimes rowdy equals good. Look at that shot to the inside of the 22. What a move by the 18 to clear everybody. Oh my Lord, what a drive from the 18 of Kyle McCartney. Threading the needle put a new meaning to the phrase, did Kyle McCartney. As you see here, the number 30 machine of Jeff Schmeier still gaining. Peeks to the inside of Hollingsworth for 3rd. Makes the pass, clears him down the front straightaway into lap number 145. He's got 16 laps to do it, but a 6.320 second deficit to Bentley Glazer in the 87. Does he have enough time? And do the rest of the field have to pit one more time?
And he's going to, with all this damage that Holyfield's got, he's going to be able to work on him real easy right here. And then it's just going to be a matter of, is the 14 laps left going to be enough time for him to get there and get the job done?
That is exactly right for the 30 of Schmeier. Easy work of the 7 of Holyfield. Slides into the 2nd position. Right now, you can tell that the 30 of Schmeier is hoping and praying that this race stays green as he is on the loud pedal all the way around. Peeks to that inside of that number 12 car, Brian Steele, to put him even further and further back. Let's take a look currently at the 87 of Bentley Glazer, see what he's working with. He's all by himself, conserving as much fuel as he can, riding the high line around this Iowa Speedway. Currently running lap times in the 25.0 second range, which is consistently slower than the 30 of Schmeier, who's running 24.7s and gaining every single lap. The lead is now down to 5.301 seconds.
And this is going to be big for Jeff Schmeier. Sorry, butchering it up here. Schmeier with, a big win here. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, but no wins to show for it here so far this season. And he is coming for the lead right now with 10 to go.
It would absolutely be huge, as a lot of drivers say that they are pitting this time by. Never mind, I was looking at something that happened earlier. Looks like the 99 is signaling that he may pull it in, but Barry Phil, a driver who's currently running a 27, not too much of a factor right now. Keep your eyes on that 30 of Schmeier. He is lightning in a bottle quick here. 4.6 seconds back off your leader, Bentley Glazer, as he puts the 17 once another lap down.
And we'll see as we wind down here, you know, it looks like the rest of the field is on a relatively level playing field as far as running, you know, pretty consistent laps to each other. Will anybody make a big stake? Can anybody capitalize? Who knows? Maybe there will even be a big one down here towards the end.
The Holyfield, the driver in the 7, who was running in the 4th position, has finally made his way to pit road after an amazing run under green. This race has gone over 120 laps. Green flag right here. We thought that we were going to be in a caution fest during those first 30 laps. And then right after, these guys go green, and they have not skipped a beat, as Holyfield just pitted for, I believe, his 3rd time of the night just now.
And we'll see, we had a lot of damage. Did he save that fast repair? It looks like he did. Yes, he indeed. He kept that quick repair. That's going to make a big difference for him here.
It could be absolutely huge, but mainly huge if we were to have another caution here at the Iowa Speedway for your Western States Racing League Truck Series. Bentley Glazer currently has a 4.3 second advantage, coming up on 6 laps to go this time by at the line over Jeff Schmeier in the 30 machine. But does Glazer have enough fuel? That is the big question. We look at Beltrami in Burke. Beltrami in the 14, Carl Burke in the 53. They seem to be about a car length spread out right now. They did just have a nice little battle going on. Carl was in the wall in front of them. Didn't quite catch who it was, but it looks like that's 17. It was the 17 car.
And Ron Holyfield had spun out there. It looked like coming out of turn 2, if I'm not mistaken. Turn 4, I'm sorry.
I believe so, but no caution flag was thrown. Holyfield did have that little bit of a spin on those new tires. The dangers of new tires here at the Iowa Speedway. The 12 car of Steele up against the wall, but he's able to keep her going in the right direction. That 17 that I alluded to a minute ago was Timothy Bates, who was in the wall, but he is currently back under his own power, doing just fine as the 14 of Beltrami goes underneath him.
Kyle McCartney is looking to make a move here on Jeff Hollingsworth as well for that 3rd spot, see if he can get a podium spot here with 2 to go.
That's exactly right. I'm going to keep my eye currently on the 87 of Glazer. Has a 3.7 second advantage. And at this point, he's got to believe that he has enough fuel to seal the deal. Currently running 25.285 second laps. And he's going to come around. The white flag has been presented to leader Bentley Glazer in the 87. Unless something catastrophic happens. It looks like this one is Bentley Glazer's to take to the bank here tonight.
Big move on the inside here. He's going to find his way to a podium spot.
That he is, but off of turn number 4, down the tri-oval, it's Bentley Glazer taking home your race at Iowa here tonight. That will be his 4th win on the year for driver 87, is able to withstand the late race push by Jeff Schmeier, who comes home 2nd.
Yeah, it was a really, really tight run there at the line between Hollingsworth and McCartney. Can't quite find the right spot here.
It looks like it was given to Hollingsworth as he just barely edged out McCartney there at the very end.
You can see him coming off of turn 4 here.
What a finish there for the third position between Hollingsworth and McCartney. They did give it to Hollingsworth on the official scoring by 2/100ths of a second over Kyle McCartney in the 18. But what a performance, what a run by Bentley Glazer in the number 87, picking up his 4th win of this Western States Racing League Truck Series season. That will extend his points lead over Bob Beltrami and Brian Barnes. But tonight's big mover was Jeff Schmeier, who finished 2nd. Kyle McCartney finished 4th with Hollingsworth 3rd. Carl Burke rounded out your top 5, and currently we're going to get a word with your race winner, Bentley Glazer. Bentley, an amazing performance from you from start to finish. Jeff Schmeier seemed to have the number there about halfway through the race for just a little while. Were you worried that his pit strategy was going to come back and hurt you in the end of the race?
Yeah, I was pretty worried actually, and I thought he might have enough fuel to make it, so that was kind of making me worried too. And there at the end too, he was coming for sure, and a lap car kind of hit me and really slowed my truck down. So I was definitely worried at the end for sure.
Coming down to the end of the race, were you in any kind of fuel concern, or did you know from the time that you last pitted that you were good to go to the end?
I knew I was good from when I pitted. The whole time I was thinking there's going to be a caution that was going to put me a lap down. So it was risky to pit that early, but I saw Brian do it, and he's always fast at these tracks. So I was just trying to stay ahead of him.
That's exactly right. And this win marks your 4th on the season, giving you an even further of an advantage over Bob Beltrami and Brian Barnes. Going into the next couple of races, is your key going to be more so to try and get more wins, or are you just going to try and have some solid runs and extend your points lead as we move further along in the season?
I'm going to try to stay out of trouble, see what happens. As long as if you qualify pretty good, you're kind of able to stay out front. But if you just qualify like 12th, it's a bit difficult.
All right, Bentley, before we let you go here and celebrate your win here tonight, who are some of the great people that you want to thank for helping you on your race car?
Thanks to my team, OGR. Great bunch of guys, and it's always fun just racing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your winner here tonight from the Iowa Speedway, Mr. Bentley Glazer. Bentley, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
So as we've got Bentley, we're going to bring in your 2nd place finisher tonight, Mr. Jeff Schmeier. Jeff, what a run for you. You look like you had something in the tank for Bentley. They're late. Run me down what was going through your head there in those closing segments of the race.
Yeah, I think I might have had something for him if I didn't get caught up in a little bit of lap traffic. I was running the high line, and they would usually let me go underneath. And yeah, if I didn't have to deal with lap traffic and a few more laps, I think I might have had something.
During the race, it seemed that your pit strategy it ended up being a lot different than anybody else's. Was that something that you were planning on doing going into the race, or did it just kind of turn out that way?
No, not at all. After I got caught up in one of those wrecks, I was kind of mired in the mid pack, so I figured on that last caution I'd take some tires and at least get off of the regular pit strategy and do something different. That was my last set of tires too. That last pair, so if there was a caution late, it wouldn't have been good.
Oh, it did seem to absolutely work out for you. Again, this run that you just had is going to do great things for your points implications as you were sitting in 7th going forward. Going into next week at, I believe it was Lucas Oil, if I'm not mistaken. What are your expectations going to be for that track with these trucks?
Thinking about the same here. I'm okay there. I'm about on the same level as most everyone else there, except maybe Bentley and Brian. So hoping I can put up a good showing there too. Get back in this points battle.
Exactly right. And real quick before we let you on celebrate your 2nd place finish, Jeff, give a nice shout out to all those great sponsors that help you in your iRacing career.
Yeah, well, first I want to thank my Dog Bear team, Bob and Brian and all of them guys. They put this on every week, and it's been such a blast. It's not on the truck, but I want to say, and I want to do a shout out to Sarge's Place. They sponsor the Dog Bear team over in the Major Series. Always a shout out to do that for them. I also want to say hi to my dad. He stayed up and watched the race. My girlfriend, they watched the races. I just want to say I love you guys.
I guarantee that they were impressed with your run here tonight. Once again, congratulations on your 2nd place finish. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Schmeier.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
All right, and coming up here momentarily, we're going to get our 3rd place finisher, Jeff Hollingsworth, in here, and Ben Bruno is going to have a word with him.
Hey, Jeff, just wanted to ask you a couple quick questions here. You know, starting back there in the 12th position, working your way up to 3rd, how much of a concern was, advancing the tire wear on your truck while you were making that run?
Yeah, I'm teammates with Bentley and Charlie Woods and Ron, and we always compare our tire wear. Mine was a little bit more than theirs, but I also run kind of a different line, so it was a concern. Yeah, I failed on the qual lap. I was afraid I was going to wreck, so I took it too easy and, started in 12th. And then I got bumped a little bit and went back into 12th, and I feel good about the race, though. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was definitely an impressive run, to say the least. That's for certain. Right now in the points, sitting back there at 9th or so. I'm sorry, I got over to the wrong screen there. My bad, Jeff.
You'd be 4th.
4th in the 4th spot here. Definitely not going to hurt to take home this 3rd place finish. Looking forward into next week. What do you do to keep that consistency and a good spot in the standings moving forward?
Just drive, man. It's fun. The trucks are fun to race, and you got to qualify well. You got to be there at the end, and a little bit of luck doesn't hurt, and some strategies. I've got beat with tires. I've got beat with fuel. So just a lot of it is where the cautions fall and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. We keep plugging. We just have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what's going to make it count most of the time. Who would you like to give some shout outs to for the success and supporting you as you make great runs here moving forward?
Always my teammates. Like I said, Bentley, Charlie, Ron. There's a couple more that hang out with us. Tim was hanging out with us tonight, Tim Bates. And anyways, those guys. And of course, Bob for having this league for so long. I've said it before. I was in it way back when we weren't even on this platform. So it's pretty cool he's been doing it this long. And you guys in the booth and, my family, I guess. That's it.
Hey, well, thanks for taking the time to talk with me here. Congratulations to you on that great run there tonight. It was definitely great fun to watch. It was definitely fun to watch at home as well, I'm sure.
Right on. Hey, is Sam in here or not? Hey, Sam. I'm just saying hello. Good deal. All right. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate what you do. I look forward to watching it just like everybody else does. Be safe.
You as well, Jeff. Thanks once again. Real quick, before we get into our closing comments, let's run down our finishing order. Once again, your winner was the 87 of Bentley Glazer. Jeff Schmeier came home second. Jeff Hollingsworth third. Kyle McCartney did finish fourth, with Bob Beltrami rounding out the top five. Carl Burke finished in sixth. Rob Gall finished seventh. Brian Barnes eighth. Marty Ray ninth. Wayne Hutchison 10th. 11th went to Kevin Thrift. Charles Woods 12th. Scott Hutchison finished 13th. Mark McFadden rounded out 14th. And Paul Hoffman rounded out your top 15. Ben, you want to take it from there?
Absolutely. Keith Kelman in that 07 car coming in 16th. Dustin Burns at 17th. David Wood coming in at home at 18th. Down 2 laps, Timothy Bates in 19th. Ron Holyfield in 20th. James Campbell at 21st. Ryan Steele bringing her home at 22nd. Eric Woods in 23rd. Dennis Fusion in 24th. Earl Weaver in position number 25. Tom Miles 26th. Barry Phil in 27th. And David Weaver bringing it home 11 laps down in the 28th spot, with Jackson Bell and Danny Stussy not finishing this one out tonight.
That's exactly right. And before we get going here tonight, we want to remind everybody to go over to our Facebook page, look up Esports Broadcasting Network, give us a like, give us a follow there, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel, as it is Esports Broadcasting Network. Go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications, so watch us whenever we go live. From here at the Iowa Speedway, I've been Ryan Williams, for my partner, Mr. Ben Bruno, and our executive producer, Sam Cooper Bennett. Thank you for watching ESBN. Goodbye and good night.